Hey guys, it's Amber. This is going to be a very, very serious video that is probably going to bore you guys to death, unless if you're part of a high school marching band. This is what I like to call marching band problems. A lot of you guys didn't know, I am a part of my high school marching band. I'm a flute player. I am up front with the rest of the woodwinds, seen by everybody. So number one, uniform malfunctions. You got those people who just don't care what their pants look like. We have white pants, so yeah, we have to keep those things clean. You want to see my pants? So you guys, these are our marching pants. They're basically like giant painter jumpers. Like seriously. We look like Mario in these things. I'm not even joking, because our shirts are red. And then you get down to the bottom, and you got all these scuff marks on them. And these need cleaned, I know. But that's the problem with having white pants. They always need to be cleaned. But you got those people who like to let them sit there and soil. Don't even bother to clean them. Number two, untuned instruments. Your instrument always has to be tuned, you know, especially if you're going to like a competition or a festival where you have to play for people, you know, and you're not just in class goofing around. You think that your instrument is tuned. You get up on that stage or wherever you're playing, you go to play your solo, and you are completely out of tune. I'm sorry, but I like having my instrument tuned, and I don't want to hear your squeakiness or your lowness when you're either sharp or flat. I'm sorry. This is gonna make a couple of my friends at school laugh. Number three, grumpy band directors. My band director, Mr. Baker, I love Mr. Baker to death. He's been my band director since I was in 6th grade. I love you, Mr. Baker, if you're watching this, but sometimes he can get really cranky, like, especially during football season, right before a game, he would get super serious about everything. Like, normally he's all laid back and junk, but then as soon as it gets right down to it, he gets super grumpy and super cranky, and he's just, like, ready to throw something at you. Literally, throw something at you. I've gotten hit with his baton before. And so has Robert and about everybody else in the front row. Those were all accidents, though. When he's grumpy, you don't mess with him. No, you do not mess with Baker when he's grumpy. I'm sorry, I don't care if you need to ask him a very important question. Don't mess with Baker when he's grumpy. You'll soon learn that if you are in middle school, at our middle school, and you're about to come to our high school, and you're going to be in the band. Baker can get grumpy, but most of the time he's pretty laid back. I remember during football season, we used to get a lecture like every week, like one lecture a week, on what we should be doing better, and you know, just him basically telling us that we sucked the week before, and it only made us work harder. And we ended up doing a really good job in the end. So, I applaud you, Baker. I applaud you. You've done an excellent job. I can't lie about that. You're awesome. This is probably going to make a couple people in my band mad at me. But this is completely true, and lower classmen will relate to this in so many ways. Number four, bossy upperclassmen. Okay, I'm a freshman. I am a lower classman. But I really don't like it when upperclassmen feel the need to boss us around like we're their slaves. Like, you know, even if they're a sophomore, they look at you like you are an ant, and they are the giant person who is about to step on you. This bugged the crap out of me during, especially during band camp, because they all knew how to march and I was still learning how to march. And they were all like, no, 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 you do it like this, you do it like this, do it just like this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm standing there like, okay, you don't have to yell at me, alright. But, I get it, you know, they're trying to get a point across to me, but you don't have to be bossy just to get it across to me. You can just be like, oh, hey, you need to do it like this, this is how it needs to be done. Okay, I'll understand if you say it like that, but when you're like, no, it has to be done like this, and it has to be done like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to follow your directions. The only person that I really follow directions from is Mr. Baker. Like, you know, he is the main man. He is the baker. He is the one that I would prefer to follow directions from because he is our director. And you upperclassmen, I don't care if you're a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, or even just a couple months older than me. Even though you're older than me, you respect me, and I'll respect you. That's how it's done. I'm sorry if I make anybody mad, but that's how it needs to be done. Everybody in a marching band can relate to this. Number 5, getting out of step during practice. During marching season, I used to get out of step all the time because I was still learning how to march. You know, this is my first year, and I didn't know how to do this very well. So whenever I would get out of step or something, I would quickly try to fix it, and Baker would see it, and he'd be like, no, go back and do it again. And it gets annoying after a while. I'm not gonna lie, it does. But it's all worth it. I promise you, all that getting out of step and having to go back and redo it over and over again a million times, it's all worth it in the end because you're gonna make for a really good show in the end. Number 6, dealing with the weather. During band camp, it is extremely hot. I'm not even gonna lie, it is burning up during band camp. And you're out there from 7 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon, you know, marching. You know, yeah, you may be in shorts and a tank top, but it gets hot. It gets really hot. And most people don't even really like to be hot and sweaty and junk. It's kind of like with football players, you know, because they're in their pads and everything. Us band members, we have our instruments and we march. We get in our lines and we march in a dead straight line, and that's how it's done. But it gets really hot, and I remember that we accept middle schoolers into our band because we're not that big. So there was this one middle schooler, and oh my god, I felt so bad for him. Like, we were having so many practices, and he was kind of bigger than everybody else, you know, and he couldn't handle it, and he nearly passed out during band camp. And then when we were practicing for a game, he almost started crying. So I had to sit there and console him while we were getting ready to march because he stood right behind me. I was like, it's gonna be okay, you can do this, come on, just finish it out, we're almost done. And he was like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, yes, you can, just, you're almost done, and then we can go inside and we can get nice and cool. We're gonna be completely fine. And you know, and if you feel like you're about to pass out, just tell Baker and he will let you sit down. You know, because Baker's one of those people who are just like, oh yeah, if you don't feel good, you need to go sit down because I don't need you puking or anything on the field. So, yeah, I felt really bad for him, but the weather can be quite a challenge, you know, especially at football games. Like, if it's gonna rain that game, we won't play at it. I don't think we had one that got rained out for us, but hey, it's fun. Number 7. About every competition band can relate to this. Getting up for early competition. I don't know what it is, but every band competition seems to be either right out in the morning, or you live so far away that you have to get up early just so you can get on that bus and go, so you can make it on time to your competition. I know that where I live, we don't live around where many of the competitions are, so we have to get up early just so we can go. I mean, like, I have a band competition Wednesday that I'm going to, and I have to be at school normally on time, and we are leaving for it at 8:05, and we don't have to be there until 10. Let's just say we're going to be sitting on that bus for about an hour and a half, and it's going to be packed. But there was one when we went to a UTC game, and we ended up playing with the UTC college marching band. And we got up and we left at like 7 something. 7, 8 something. And we were on that bus for like 2 hours going to Nashville. Or no, Chattanooga. Yeah, Chattanooga. But I just remember it being such a long drive. And even longer on the way back. Anyone who was on that bus would know. That was a very long trip. But not as half long as this Signal Mountain game. That was a long drive. Number 8. Every band can relate to this, of course. Your music. You write all over your music. I know that on my sheet music, I have so many red marks, it's almost impossible to read. Like, there's a lot of marks on my music, and, you know, most people are like, oh, you don't need to write on your music. You know, you could ruin it or something, because what if somebody else wants to use it? That is my music. Nobody's gonna take it from me. It has my writing on it. I'm sorry, but if you can't read my writing, then that's your problem. But you write all over your music. There's no getting around that. Your director's going to want to make a little bit of changes to your music. No matter how it's written, he's going to find some way to make it better for you guys to play it. Depending on how your band is, your director will form that to your band. I know for our competition we're playing a march, and there's 32 of us. 28, 29 of us, and we're playing a piece that's fit for a band of 50, and we're playing that at a competition. Now, we sound really good because Baker has formatted it to fit our band. You know, how he does it, I don't know. Another reason I applaud you, Baker. Keep on doing what you're doing, because you're doing something right. This comes and goes with every band. Number 9. People who don't care as much about the band as you do. I know I care a lot about the band and how it goes, but there are people in the band, especially seniors, who are about to graduate, who are just like, God, I want to get this over with. I'm ready to end high school, start my own life, you know, but they don't realize that there are people who are still very young in this band who care about it, who want it to do good. And you're just sitting there like, oh yeah, it's my last year, I don't have to do much. You still have to do a lot. Excuse me, but who let you be lazy while everybody else worked their butts off? I mean, I know you've had your fair share of it, but I mean, seriously, make it a good time for us. Don't think that just because it's your last year that you can slack off. I'm a freshman, I relate to this in so many ways, because there are seniors in my band who are a little bit too laid back about the band, who think that just because it's their last year that they don't have to put up with it anymore. You're still putting up with it because you're still in school. You are still a part of this band until the day you graduate. And even then, once a PCHS band member, always a PCHS band member. How it goes, that's how it's done. And this is so relatable in my band. Like, I can't stress this enough. Number 10, drama. Our band is filled with drama. I'm sure there are plenty of other bands that are filled with drama too, but seriously, there are so many drama-filled people in this band. It's unrelatable to most bands. There have been a lot of band couples in this past year that once those couples end, drama starts. Like, you see that person every day. Why would you want to start drama with them when you know you're going to see them every day in that class? You know, even though you guys ended, it doesn't mean that you guys can't be friends. I mean, I've kind of learned that over the past couple months. You know, it doesn't mean that you guys have to be complete strangers, avoid yourself from each other, like avoid that other person. No. Just talk to them, say hi. Yeah? Don't start anything. Don't start rumors about people, because that's just gonna come right back to you. Because this band, our band is so compacted together that any bit of drama that is said spreads like wildfire amongst the band. I've had my fair share of drama this year. Gladly for me, it has died down a lot. But I just think it's funny because there's so much drama in this band. Like, I remember at our Signal Mountain game, I think it's the most drama-filled game I have ever been to. Like, there was a lot of drama at that game. And, Baker was mad. Like, he even told us, he was like, out of the so-and-so years that I've been doing this, have I never seen so much drama at a football game, blah, blah, blah. Because we had people crying at that game because of reasons that I can't talk about on the internet. But if you went to that game and you're part of our band, you may know why. But that was a really drama-filled game. And I don't think I'd want to relive that game, just saying. You know, even though the funniest part about it was sliding off the side of the hill. Fun times. In our band pants, too. Drama. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. But you just, especially with a band, you really have to be careful what you say. Because it will spread like wildfire. And it will cause a lot of chaos. You know, as a band, you're supposed to work together. You're supposed to be one. You're not supposed to be spread out. You know, you're not supposed to have this group of people and this group of people and this group of people and this group of people. No, you're supposed to be all one. All friends, all good together. You know, I remember the first week of band camp. People were like, oh my god, I love you. And everybody loved each other. Everybody was friends. But by the third week of school, everybody basically hated each other. You know, like, that's how quickly drama can get started. And it can all start with just that one little saying that you say that spreads. And it spreads. And it spreads until it gets back to the person that it's about. And then it will eventually come back and bite you. Like karma. Karma will come back and bite you so hard. I've learned that this past freshman year. Reasons I can't talk about, but let's just say I've had my fair share of it, and it hurts really bad. And I don't want it ever again. That was 10 marching band problems. If you guys have any more marching band problems, you can post them down below, or you can make a video response to me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Gifboom, on Tumblr. All my websites will be posted down below. The link to my main channel will be posted down below. And every other little detail that you guys would love to know about me will be posted down below. Again, I love you all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye guys.